Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, good evening and a warm welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing you your top stories for tonight. I am Lakshita Dirasinghe.
And I'm Hussain Ali. Let's have a look at the headlines first.
Minister Kanchana says electricity tariffs will reduce from July. Electricity bill passed by a majority of 44 votes. Indian Prime Minister invites President to attend his swearing-in ceremony. 10,000 rupees to be extended for each flood-hit house for cleaning purposes. President inaugurates his new political office in Colombo. Preliminary approval granted for Starlink to provide satellite-based internet services in Sri Lanka. Program to distribute vouchers for female students to purchase sanitary napkins begins. Dengue threat prevails with the showery conditions. Evacuations underway as Mount Kanlo volcano in Philippines erupts.
On to those and other stories in detail. Minister Kanchana Wijayasekara says that the electricity bill will be reduced from the 1st of July.
And addressing the Parliament today, the Minister said that the relevant proposal will be handed over to the Public Utilities Commission by tomorrow on Monday. Minister Kanchana Wijayasekara said that as the government, a policy decision was reached to provide more relief for the consumers in the domestic categories. Accordingly, he said that the government has proposed to reduce the electricity tariff for the category between 0 and 30 by 2 rupees from 8 rupees to 6 rupees per unit. He said that there are 1.8 million consumers under this category. He said that for the category between 30 and 60 units, which holds the maximum number of consumers with 2 million, the tariffs will be reduced by 11 rupees from 20 rupees to 9 rupees. He said that the category between 60 and 90 units will be reduced from 30 rupees to 18 rupees, while the category between 90 and 120 units will be reduced from 50 rupees to 30 rupees. Accordingly, he said that through this measure, over 4 million consumers, which comprise the middle-income earning families, will gain maximum relief. He said that the proposal has also been formulated to include the same rates for the general-purpose category and the category for religious establishments. The minister said that the relevant proposal will be handed over to the Public Utilities Commission by tomorrow or on Monday.
The Sri Lanka electricity bill was passed by a majority of 44 votes following the debate held in the Parliament today. At the end of the debate on the second reading of the bill held today, the opposition called for a division and accordingly 59 votes were cast against and 103 were cast in favour. Amendments were added to the bill during the committee stage and the third reading was passed without a vote. Minister Kanchana Wijayasekara said that this act was brought in to fulfill the needs of the country. He said that an objection has been directed over this bill since it was tabled by the government. He said that a similar act was brought in during 2002 to distribute services. He said that this act expects to further improve the efficiency of these services. He said that through SJB Economic Blueprint, SJB policies propose to bring private investments and competition. He also said that in NPP policies, they too have included least economic cost factor, which also features in this act. He pointed out that the only difference is the connectivity with India as proposed in the act. However, he indicated that Sri Lanka expects to connect with BIMSTEC countries, Singapore and Middle Eastern countries as well. He pointed out that in the NPP policy, it clearly indicates their intention to connect with BIMSTEC electricity supergrid and then to enter into international energy trading. He said that if any entity wished to sell the shares of the CEB, then it is possible through the previous act. He said that even though LECO is known to be a private agency, the ownership is vested with the government. He said that the intention of this act is to increase the efficiency of CEB and instill transparency. Rejecting the claims made by officials of the CEB, he said that the previous act vests more powers with the subject minister to make arbitrary decisions. However, he said that these claims have been made to safeguard their corrupt activities, as the new act would sabotage their illegal operations and businesses. He firmly said that through this new act, no assets of the CEB will be sold to any entity. Parliamentarian Mujibur Rahman said that in the minister's speech he claimed that if the electricity board is to be sold, then it is possible through this act. He inquired whether 28% was given to LTL through this act. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said that the ownership of the LTL is vested with the electricity board. He said that the CEB holds a stake of 63%. He said that two other companies owned 27% and 10% respectively. He said that from the CEB stake, 28% of shares were given to a company named West Coast Power Limited. He said that 41.45% of shares of West Coast Power Limited is owned by the Treasury, EPF owns 27.05% and 18.18% shares are owned by LECO. He pointed out that the government owns 87% of shares in the West Coast Power Limited. He said that the shares have been divided and distributed among state agencies within an established process.
Moving on to more stories here at home, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has invited President Ranil Wickremesinghe to attend his swearing-in ceremony. The invitation was extended when the President congratulated the Indian Prime Minister on the electoral victory in a phone call. The President's media division in a post on X has indicated during the conversation, Prime Minister Modi has personally invited President Wickremesinghe to his swearing-in ceremony, which the President accepted. Prime Minister Modi had also thanked President Wickremesinghe for his warm wishes. He has conveyed India's continued commitment to building stronger ties between India and Sri Lanka.
The program to distribute free vouchers for female students to purchase sanitary napkins commenced today. Ministry of Education has allocated more than 1 billion rupees for this project. The inauguration ceremony was held this morning at the President's Girls' College in Navala with the participation of State Minister Geeta Kumarasinghe. The objective of this program is to maintain the learning process in schools in an efficient and successful manner. The Education Ministry expects to provide necessary facilities to maintain healthy living and confidence building of the children. Another objective of this program is to empower the attendance of female students to school and avoid students from failing to direct their attention for education due to lack of awareness over health matters. Each student will receive a voucher worth 1,200 rupees. Sanitary napkins can be purchased from any trade stall registered with the Ministry of Education. Women parliamentarians, caucus and representatives of UNICEF as well as specialist doctors were present at this occasion.
And in the meantime, State Minister of Technology Kanaka Herath announced that Telecommunications Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka has granted preliminary approval for Starlink to provide satellite-based internet services in Sri Lanka. He shared these remarks during a special media briefing held today at the Presidential Media Centre. State Minister Kanaka Herath said that under Section 22 of the Telecommunications Act, internet services will be provided via satellite technology. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has instructed that a relief package be made available to school children, fishermen and researchers to ensure they can access this internet service. Plans for implementing this relief package are currently being prepared. Director General of Sri Lanka Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, Madhushanka Dissanayake, said that Starlink is not yet established as a telephone network company in Sri Lanka. However, the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission has approved it under Section 17 and 22.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe inaugurated his new political office in Colombo today at an auspicious time. The office located on Sir Ernest de Silva Mawatha will serve as the centre for future political operations. The ceremony included religious rites and blessings performed by prominent religious leaders, including Venerable Dr. Muruthettu Anandanayaka Thera. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, other government ministers, Senior Advisor to the President on National Security and Chief of Presidential Staff Sagala Ratnayaka and MP Wajira Bewardena were present at the event. In recognition of veteran actor Ravindra Randeniya's outstanding contributions to Sri Lankan cinema for over 5 decades, the ceremony Ravi Self-Reflection on Half-Century in Cinema took place yesterday at the BMICH in Colombo.
And the event was presided over by President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Ravindra Randeniya, who entered the film industry with the 1974 movie Tharanga, has been celebrated for his exceptional acting skills, consistently delivering memorable performances that have left an indelible mark on Sri Lankan cinema audiences. Over the past 5 decades, he has starred in more than 100 films, including notable titles like Duhul Malak, Podimalli, Virapurannappu, Santhaya, Maya, Aradhana, Dadayama, Wedding Gift, Sagaraya, Selamuthu, Sirimadura, Ananta Ratriya and Kaldiya Dahara. Randeniya has significantly contributed to elevating the local film industry and has been recognized with numerous accolades. These include the Swarna Sanka OCIC Best Actor Award, which has won more than 15 times, 7 Lifetime Achievement Awards and various other honors. He also received the prestigious Darshan Suri Award from the University of Fine Arts for his services to the cinema. His talents have extended to international films with key roles in productions such as Street Child, Mother Teresa, Jungle Heat, Sadkon and other upcoming Distant Teardrop. During the event, 2 biographies of Ravindra Randeniya were launched, one in Sinhala by film critic Gamani Veragoda and another English by Udita Devapriya. Randeniya presented the first copies of these books to President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, former President Maithripala Sirisena, Minister Bandula Gunawardena, ministers and many distinguished guests representing all sectors related to the film industry attended the event. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that he first saw Ravindra in the 1975 movie Kaldiya Dahara. The president said that he came to Kalaniya as the United National Party organizer in the same year and got to know Ravindra's family from Dalugama. They were constantly giving support to the United National Party. Accordingly, he said that he carried out political work with him. Also, with the open economy, there was a great development in the film industry in this country. He said that they saw Ravindra Randeniya coming forward with it. He acted in many major films of that period. At the same time, he joined politics. He said that Randeniya supported the political activities and finally, on his request, he was appointed as a Member of Parliament in 2001. He's a talented actor. He wished him long life. It should also be mentioned that he has the ability to contribute to many other fields, the President added.
In other stories, a special discussion was held on the expansion of trade and investment relations between Mauritius and Sri Lanka. The meeting was held between Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena and Mauritius High Commissioner Heyman Doyle Dillon. Over the past 6 years, the exports of Sri Lanka to Mauritius have increased at an annualized rate of 37.7% from $768,000 in 2017 to $7.5 million in 2023. There is a need for further diversifying trade, the Prime Minister said. High Commissioner Dillon expressed satisfaction of speedy recovery in tourism in Sri Lanka and said there is a vast potential for collaboration in the hospitality industry. The envoy asked Sri Lanka to join Small Island Developing States and assured support of Mauritius for Sri Lanka's membership. 29 island countries including Singapore, Mauritius, Maldives are members of the organization. The Prime Minister urged the High Commissioner to explore possibility of investments in new areas including power and energy. Ambassador of Greece Aliki Koutsomitopoulo called on Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at the temple trees yesterday. The Prime Minister and the Ambassador discussed about bilateral relations, trade and investment promotion, maritime issues and seafarer employment.
Moving on to the weather situation of Sri Lanka, State Minister Rupavahini says that with the subsiding flood situation in the country, an allowance of 10,000 rupees will be extended for each affected house for cleaning purposes. The government has extended 150 million rupees for the district secretariats in this regard. 10,500 houses have been identified for being affected from the recent disaster situation, and the State Minister made these remarks during a media briefing held today at the Disaster Management Centre. State Minister Rupavahini said that 10,000 rupees worth allowance will be provided for each house which has been affected from the floods. He said that this allowance will be for cleaning purposes. Accordingly, he added that 150 million rupees have been distributed among the district secretariats by the government in this regard. Schools which were closed in Galle district were reopened today. Reports have indicated that there was a decline in student attendance. Vehicular movement was hindered since several roads remained inundated. Several sections of the Horana Bulat Sinhala main road have also remained inundated. Many residents in areas where floodwaters of society be cleaning their houses and attempting to engage in daily activities. Residents in Henyaya, Gonamaldeniya Hill area in Ratnapura are faced with severe difficulties due to the landslide warning issued in their residential area. They have been moved away from their residencies and currently sheltered at Sri Sumana Viharaya. A joint committee has been appointed encompassing all state agencies to avert floods in Gampaha district. The relevant committee has been appointed under the instructions of Minister Prasanna Ranatunga. A discussion in this regard was held at District Secretariat Auditorium yesterday.
National Non-Communicable Disease Unit says a risk prevails over the spread of dengue with the current rainy conditions. This was revealed during a special news conference held at the Presidential Media Centre today. Director of the National Dengue Control Unit, Dr. Sudat Samaravira, said that the number of reported cases increased to 2,647 in May. The recent floods may exacerbate the breeding of dengue mosquitoes, potentially leading to a further increase in dengue cases in the future. He said that effective dengue control cannot be achieved by the Ministry of Health alone, as it requires a collaborative effort involving all government departments, the private sector and the entire population. Chairman of the National Drug Regulatory Authority, Dr. Ananda Vijay Vikrama, says that in such cases it is crucial to prioritize physical rest. He also said that it is advisable to refrain from taking painkillers or other medications except for paracetamol, as using other medications may lead to serious complications. He pointed out that individuals who are particularly vulnerable to complications include young children, diabetes patients, pregnant mothers, elderly individuals and obese patients should seek medical advice promptly.
Now let's take a look at several news items in brief. The Supreme Court quashed the order of President Maithripala Sirisena to grant a presidential pardon to Jude Chamantha Jayamaha, who was sentenced to death over the controversial Royal Park murder incident. The Supreme Court in its verdict has indicated that the presidential pardon is in violation of the Constitution. The verdict had also invalidated the pardon granted to the defendant. In addition, the court has ordered the former president to pay a compensation worth 1 million rupees to the petitioner and 2 million rupees to the mother and father of the victim. Meanwhile, Piliandala police was able to apprehend a motorcyclist along with a cache of ice narcotics during a mobile search conducted near Kospelna Bridge in Piliandala. The police have indicated that the suspect is allegedly to be involved in a motorcycle theft took place in front of Panadura Base Hospital and a robbery took place in a shop in Piliandala. The suspect was produced before the Casbaba Magistrate Court. Putlam's Special Task Force apprehended 3 suspects who supplied illegal meat to a holiday resort in Hettipulla by hunting animals for a long period. The police took illegal firearms and equipment used to hunt animals into the custody.
That's it on Local Stories. Stay tuned with us for news overseas coming your way after this short break.
Welcome back after the break. Moving on to news overseas. Heavy rains triggered a significant cold lava flood in Bato village in Philippines today.
The incident happened just 2 days after a strong eruption at ChannelEye volcano forced hundreds of people to evacuate. The cold lava flow mixture of volcanic mud and debris flowed down a watercourse covering the streets in a knee-deep muddy sheet wash. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology reported the event in the afternoon hours in the village Bato near the town of La Castellina. While most villagers chose to stay in their homes and farms, some had to move to evacuation centers. No injuries have been reported, although houses and roads are covered with mud. Philippine Institute of Volcanology said that the extent and volume of the cold lava flow are still being determined. It further highlighted that volcanic ash is dangerous.
And for more news away from home, a person with prior health complications who had contracted bird flu died in Mexico in April, and the source of exposure to the virus was unknown, the World Health Organization said on Wednesday. WHO said the current risk of bird flu virus to the general population is low. The 59-year-old resident in the state of Mexico had been hospitalized in Mexico City and died on April 24th after developing a fever, shortness of breath, diarrhea, nausea and general discomfort, who said. Although the source of exposure to the virus in this case is currently unknown, H5N2 virus have been reported in poultry in Mexico, who said in a statement it was the first laboratory-confirmed human case of infection with an influenza H5N2 virus globally and the first avian H5 virus reported in a person in Mexico, according to the WHO. Scientists said the case is unrelated to the outbreak of H5N1 bird flu in the United States that has so far infected 3 dairy farm workers. Welcome back after the break, and moving on to sports news. India managed to secure an 8-wicket victory in the T20 Cricket World Cup match played against Ireland.
The match was played in New York. Ireland batted first in the Group A match. However, they only managed to gather 96 runs in 16 overs. India chased down the target in the 12th over with 8 wickets in hand. Another match of the tournament was held today between Papua New Guinea and Uganda. Uganda was able to win the match by 3 wickets. The match was played at Providence Grounds in Guyana. Batting first, Papua New Guinea scored 77 runs for their innings. Uganda chased down the target in the 18th over with 3 wickets in hand. Meanwhile, Australia managed to clinch a 39-run victory against Oman today. The match was played in Kensington Oval grounds in Barbados. Batting first, Australia managed to gather 164 runs. Oman, however, only managed to score 125 runs in their 20 overs. And with that, we'll wrap up tonight's news bulletin. Do join us tomorrow for more of the very latest. Until then, good night.